Most people don't listen to voicemails anymore. But this one was left after the man was already dead. Evan Miller was a normal guy. No criminal history. No diagnosed mental illness. No enemies. He lived alone, worked nights, and barely talked to his neighbors. His life was quiet, predictable. One night, after a long shift, his phone lit up. One new voicemail from an unknown number. He almost deleted it, but something made him listen. The voice was a distorted, shaky whisper. It said, "Evan, if you're hearing this, don't go home tonight." Then a click. The call was over. He checked the time stamp. The voicemail was left 3 hours earlier. But that was impossible. Evan had been at work the entire time, with his phone in his pocket. A cold knot formed in his stomach. Who was this? And how did they know his name? Feeling uneasy, Evan decided to check his apartment's hallway security footage from his phone. What he saw made his blood run cold. At 2:13 a.m., while he was still at work, a figure appeared in the grainy footage, standing directly in front of his apartment door. It wasn't knocking. It wasn't trying the handle. It was just standing there. Motionless, he watched, his heart pounding. As the figure remained there for 47 minutes, he zoomed in, trying to make out any detail. But the face was obscured by shadow, a dark void. The figure held no phone, no keys, nothing. It just stood and waited. Then, as suddenly as it appeared, it turned and walked away into the darkness of the hall. The police report later would state there was no evidence of an attempted break-in. They said it was probably just a neighbor at the wrong door, maybe confused. But Evan wasn't convinced. He knew, deep down, that this was connected to the voicemail. As he sat in his car, debating what to do, his phone vibrated again. Another new voicemail. Same unknown number. His hand trembled as he pressed play. This time, the voice was more frantic, more desperate. "Evan, you didn't listen. You're still alive. Right." There was a pause, just the sound of ragged, terrified breathing on the other end. Then the whisper returned, colder than before. "It's standing behind your door. It's been waiting for you." Click, a chilling. Silence filled his car. But the real horror came when he looked down at the screen. The call wasn't from an unknown number anymore. The voicemail was sent from Evan's own phone number. It was impossible. He was holding his phone in his hand. He didn't go inside that night. He couldn't. He just sat in his parked car, staring at his own front door, the engine off, until the first weak rays of sunlight broke through the heavy grey clouds. The next morning, he called the police again, his voice cracking with fear and exhaustion. When the officers entered his apartment, they found something they couldn't explain. There were no signs of forced entry, no broken locks, no shattered windows. Nothing was out of place. Everything was exactly as Evan had left it. But then they went into the bedroom, and there, on the floor next to his bed, was a phone. The screen was cracked, the case was scratched and worn. It was Evan's old phone, the one he had reported lost 6 months earlier. One of the officers picked it up. Miraculously, it had a charge, and inside its memory were dozens of unsent voicemails. Audio files, all addressed to him. As they listened, a cascade of overlapping whispers filled the small room. "Don't open the door. It knows your routine. It learns your voice. Don't let it in." The final voicemail was different. It was dated to days in the future. The voice on this Recording wasn't panicked or whispering. It was calm, clear, and resigned. It was his own voice. If you're hearing this, it means I didn't make it. A long, heavy pause hung in the air. It doesn't break in. It waits. It waits until you invite it in. There was a soft, distinct knock in the background of the recording, and eventually everyone does. Click 3. Weeks later, Evan Miller disappeared. His car was found parked in its usual spot. His apartment was locked from the inside. He was never seen again. But sometimes, late at night, his friends and family still get calls. Voicemails from Evan's number, or from numbers that don't exist, whispering warnings they can't understand.